we are from Group 8. We will present about the application of things are in the teaching of speaking. We had we had four members. My first, my Awan, Yanky Rimawan. The second, Wahyu Reza. The third, Emanasi Nous, and the last,
The
Sholikhatun
application of
Khasanah.
thing per se in the teaching of speaking or CL. Number 1, speaking. Number 2, teaching speaking. Number 3, definition of comparative learning. Number 4, what is thing per se? Okay, the next slide. I want to tell you about speaking. Speaking is an ability to communicate for interaction. It is an activity used by someone to communicate with other people. It is also an ability that needs special attention and instruction to make people understand it in a conversation. Speaking is a communication process in order to interact with other people. It is an important part of skill in English which should be emphasized in teaching learning process in the classroom. Teaching is building and facilitating learning, enabling the learner to learn, setting the condition for learning. In teaching speaking, teachers are expected to deliver learning well. Aims of teaching speaking: to build our student dex- dexterity in talking. Teachers should be able to make the student to actively speak. Hawk has 2002. Teaching is giving the knowledge of someone has and conveying it is to another to be learned. Teaching speaking is to provide knowledge to students in the form of communication to the target audience, thoughts voice reference system of the mood. In teaching speaking, teachers are expected to deliver learning well.
The next topic is definition of cooperative learning. Cooperative learning is a form of learning that is based on constructive understanding. Cooperative learning is a learning strategy with several students as members of small groups with different levels of ability. In completing their group assignments, each student group member must work together and help each other to understand the subject matter. In cooperative learning, learning is said to be incomplete if one of the friends in the group has not mastered the lesson material. The cooperative learning teaching system can be defined as a working system or structured group learning. Included in this structure are the five main elements positive, namely interdependence, individual responsibility, personal interaction, collaboration skills, and group processes. Next topic is the role of the teacher. The role of the teacher in cooperative learning as a facilitator, moderator, organizer, and mediator is visible. Structure of cooperative learning. The cooperative learning teaching system can be defined as working system or structured group learning. Structure have five main elements. The first one is positive interdependence. This means the group has a clear task or goal so everyone knows they sing or swim together. The efforts of each person benefit not only the individual but also everyone else in the group. The key to be the key to positive interdependence is committing to personal success as well as the success of every member of the group. The second one is individual responsibility. The group is accountable for achieving its goals, and each member must be accountable for contributing a fair share of the work toward the group goal. No one can hitchhike on the work of others. The performance of each individual must be assessed and the result given back to the group personally. The third one is collaboration skills. Interpersonal and small group skills are required to function as part of a group. These are basic teamwork skills. Group members must know how to and be motivated to provide effective leadership, make decisions, build trust, communicate, and manage conflict interrupt. The fourth one is interaction. This means that students promote each other's success by sharing resources. They help, support, encourage, praise each other's efforts to learn. Both academic and personal support are part of this mutual goal. And the last one is group process. Group members need to feel free to communicate openly with each other, to express concerns as well as to celebrate accomplishment. They should discuss how well they are achieving their goals and maintaining effective working relationship. The role of cooperative learning. The role of the teacher in cooperative learning as a facilitator, moderator, organizer, and mediator is visible. The cooperative learning model is one of the learning models that supports contextual learning. In 2005, Wahyu mentioned that cooperative learning model is not the same as merely group learning, but there are basic elements that distinguish it from the division of groups which is done carelessly. This learning model places student as learning subject or student-centered. With a democratic classroom atmosphere, mutual learning gives opportunities for greater opportunities to empower students to their potential. The next material will be delivered by Sophie.
What is think fair, sir? Think. Students think independently about the question that has been posed, forming ideas of their own. Pair. Students are grouped in pairs to discuss their thoughts. It is a step allows students to articulate their ideas and to consider those of others. Sir. Student pairs share their ideas with a large group such as a whole class or group smaller than entire class. Think pairs is cooperative learning technique which is said as multimedia discussion cycle in which students listen to a question or presentation. According to Questionnaire 2012, Think Person is a technique that gives opportunity for students to being active in the classroom through process of thinking, pairing, and citing to another student. In the Think Person method, the teacher uses the 3 steps to get students involved. The first step, teacher asks the student the question and then has them think quietly about their answer for a few moments. Second step is pair. The teacher puts in students in pairs and asks them to discuss the answer with each other. If the class average, the teacher can put students into groups of 3 or 4 to discuss the answer. In that case, the teacher gives a little more for this step. The third step is start. The teacher chooses a student from each pair or groups to share their group's answer with the whole class. Think person is very helpful to make students active in speaking, in which each student must report to a partner and then the partner must report to the class. According to Lehman 1981, Think person as one model of cooperative language learning has several advantages. They are as follow. The think person technique is fast and doesn't take much preparation time. B. The think person technique makes the class discussion more productive because students have the opportunity to think about the ideas before sharing with the whole class. C. Students have the opportunity to learn higher order thinking skills from their peers and gain confidence when reporting ideas to the whole class. D. The pairing step ensures that no students are left behind from the discussion. E. Students can practice responses mentally and verbal, and all students have the opportunity to speak. F. Both student and teacher have increased the opportunity to think and engage in group discussion. G. Think person technique applied at all levels and size of classes. The exact material will be delivered by Sholikhatun Khasanah.
I will continue the next material. The application of storytelling learning with think person strategy in the lesson are plans specifically made by the teachers who use stages that were following the general stages of the learning strategy. In other words, it does not come out of the main group theoretically stages. The steps in the learning think person in general according to the 2004 are: the first, the teacher divides the student into groups of 4 and gives an assignment to all groups. The second, each student thinks and does the task himself. And then students pair up with one of colleagues in the group and discuss with their partners. And the last, the two partners meet again in a group of 4. Students have the opportunity to share their work with 4 groups. Stages of learning scenarios that have been stated in the learning process plan have been implemented coherently by the teacher during the learning process of storytelling. Although it does not rule out, the teacher also improvises according to the learning situation and the condition. The next material about learning process. Activities during the learning process using think person strategy contribute to improving student affective abilities, such as work cooperatively with fellows, students, and teachers, respecting difference of opinion and other people's opportunities for opinion. Besides, with the third stage, students were taught to manage emotion when speaking in public. Students, after the cycle of the strategy, stated that the think person was able to overcome the obstacle in the process of storytelling learning, especially the first stage that promoted mutually supportive or cooperative cooperation between individuals. Working in pair was very helpful in overcoming various problems of storytelling, including individual student tension and storytelling, afraid of making mistakes and nervous. In other words, they gain confidence in storytelling activities because the burden of students was reduced by collaboration with their partners of group. From our discussion, we can conclude that teaching students using think person technique had improved student speaking skill. It is taught by the student involvement in speaking activity, which was observed by observation checklist and file note. Furthermore, the student achievement score also showed that there was improvement in every cycle after implementing think person technique in the classroom. This technique could make the student actively involved in speaking activity by sharing it to the whole class. Well, this is the end of our presentation. Thank you very much for your great attention. Goodbye and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.